Hey, it's me, Rob. Today, we're at Universal's Islands of Adventure in the Hogsmeade part of the park. And we're doing a Talkin' Rides with Rob today about Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. So come hang out, I'll show you some stuff. Oh, it's over here at the end of Hogsmeade Village where you can experience Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. The ride uses this fancy KUKA robo coaster technology. Basically, your seat can pivot and move around while a robotic arm holds the ride vehicle above the track. It's not a roller coaster, it's a scenic dark ride. So hold on to your flying bench because here's what you'll experience. You'll fly around Hogwarts Castle, dodge the Whomping Willow, face a bunch of spooky Dementors, and even catch part of a Quidditch match. It's got drops, spins, twists, and turns, but don't worry, you won't go upside down, and sometimes you may find yourself laying flat on your back. They've got these over-the-shoulder bars to keep you safe and snug in your seat, plus a handy metal bar to grab onto right in the front. And once you're done, you'll stroll right out of Filch's Emporium of Confiscated Goods. How cool is that? This ride opened on June 18th, 2010, and the ride experience lasts around 4 minutes. It has a height requirement of 48 inches. The attraction does offer a single rider line, although I wouldn't recommend this for a first-time rider because you'll miss out on a bunch of the queue. And just a heads up, if you're prone to motion sickness, this ride may trigger some nausea. Also, anyone with a healthy fear of spiders should be aware that the section of the ride that goes through the Forbidden Forest has loads of the creepy crawlers on display. Now, trust me, I know that they're fake, but I still always close my eyes during the spider part. Anyways, let's take a stroll through the queue, which I actually like more than the ride itself. This is right at the entrance to the queue, going through the front doors of the castle. A lot of people in Express today. And it might be just a little dark in here. We'll see how well this plays out. There's some really cool stuff down here. There's the statue of the Humpback Witch that Harry uses to get to Diagon Alley. To Hogsmeade. In the third book, when he receives the Marauders map from Fred and George. That's pretty cool. A Humpback Witch or One-Eyed Witch, whichever one you want to call it. You tap the back of it with your wand and say Descendium, and then it takes you through a secret passage into Hogsmeade in the Cellar of Honeydukes. And over here to the right is the Mirror of Erised. This is from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. The mirror shows you your deepest, most wants or wishes. Of course, Harry sees his family. Ron sees himself holding the Quidditch cup, stuff like that. Pretty cool, two pretty cool pieces of things from the movies and books, like right as you walk into the queue. Maybe after this, I'll go through the single rider line just so you can see the difference in the queue, although I doubt it. I'm also probably not going to actually ride the ride. We'll see. I can't film it anyways, so it's sort of like, what's the point, you know? Drinking fountains. If you need to stop for some liquid. Oh, the line is stopping here already. Cool little statue here. There's a badger and a lion, and this guy here holding the castle and a scroll. I don't know who this is specifically, but this is pretty cool. And then right over here, you have the House Point tracker. This is pretty cool. Gryffindor in the lead, Slytherin's in second, looks like Hufflepuff's in third. This is kind of cool. Big old statue of Salazar Slytherin. Here you have the entrance to Dumbledore's office. The statue that guards his office, this turns into like the revolving staircase. This is kind of cool. And then right here they have some like moving portraits. They do some scenes here that are pretty cool. We're gonna hang out for just a second and see how soon he comes back.
I am prepared. Professor Swoopstick, former potions master, and if I may say so, somewhat of an expert on magical insects. Would anyone care to venture a guess as to just what captivating creature I have in this jar?
No idea.
Come closer if you must. Don't be shy. This here is a billywig. Did you know its speed is such that it is rarely noticed by muggles?
Didn't know that.
Wings on top of its head, which are rotated very fast, so that it spins when it flies.
Oh, he's back. He left for a second. Where'd he go?
Ah, yes. Quidditch, our favorite sport. I'm a Tutsil tornado.
There's a picture right next to this one of some people in the stands at a Quidditch match. It looks like the potions professor is hopping between the portraits, which is pretty cool. Here's the portrait that's to the left of that one. These guys are all watching the Quidditch match. There's a snitch.
The teachers had to curse her down. Right. Must get down to the match.
And then here he
Big
comes.
Quidditch match today.
Hopping portraits.
What a crowd. Rumor has it you'll be going down to the pitch too. Better start thinking now which side you'll be taking. Gryffindor or Slytherin.
Gryffindor, obviously.
Either way, enjoy the match.
This whole room is dedicated just to some portraits. Most of them do not move in this part of the line. The 4 house founders are in here. Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, Salazar Slytherin, and Godric Gryffindor. And they run through a series of conversations.
Must be quite proud to have Harry Potter in your house.
There he is.
Yes, a remarkable young man, Helga.
It's kind of hard to film all of them from just one spot. There's Ravenclaw wearing her diadem right there.
Just watch. I'll wager young Mr. Potter and Gryffindor beat Slytherin today.
Gryffindor doesn't stand a chance, so.
Honestly, all of you.
The next part of the line is Dumbledore's office. If you want to take some time to kind of poke around and on some of these shelves, there's a lot of really cool items. Some telescopes and binoculars and stuff like that. There's also the pensive over here where you can store and view memories. Which is really cool. Cool little mirror in here. Take a look. Just some lamps and like old metal devices of some sort lining the shelves. A couple crystal balls, stuff like that. And then here's Dumbledore's office itself with all the bookshelves, and there's a holographic version of Dumbledore up there. So it's kind of hard for me to hear, especially when there's a bunch of people in line. So I'm not 100% sure what he's talking about. I like this part of the queue though. If you look up toward the top, all sorts of paintings and stuff again, although none of these in this room move either. The next part of the queue is the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. And this is where they kind of explain the storyline of the ride. Instead of your muggles visiting Hogwarts, and instead of sitting through a lecture about the history of Hogwarts, Ron, Harry, and Hermione are going to bust you out, bewitch some benches, and take you on a flying tour of Hogwarts. It's pretty cool. On the ceiling here is the skeleton of a dragon. It's probably the coolest thing in the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. And then here they're starting the show again to kind of explain the plot of the ride.
Keep it down, you two. This will work fine.
Right now they're under the
Stop
invisibility
bickering.
cloak.
Excuse me, we thought some of you might be looking for a way to escape Professor Bin's lecture.
Zoom in here a little bit.
If you're not, you're mental.
Not that the subject isn't fascinating. Personally, I'd recommend Bathilda Bagshot's Hogwarts A History.
No one else has read that book of mine.
For your information, it happens to be, by general consensus, the definitive volume on Hogwarts.
Also, it's to be dead boring.
As is Professor Bin, is very boring.
How exceptionally dead. He's a ghost. Fell asleep in front of the classroom flyer, woke up the next day to teach and left his body behind.
He's still very sound on history, though.
And as an added bonus, he can enter the classroom through the blackboard.
Anyway, we thought you might rather watch the game of Quidditch than listen to Binns, but we'll have to sneak you out of the castle and down to the pitch, and we reckon the best way of doing that was to fly you there.
All you have to do is follow me to the room of requirement, and I'll manage it from there. Of course, we'll need a bit of magic. A charm I learned from a world-class Quidditch player.
She's talking about
Mine's
Crumb.
famous for a chance.
Yes. Mythologics for a canto.
I was just about to do that.
Remember, meet him already in the room of requirement.
See? That wasn't so bad, was it, Ron?
Not as bad as being in this club with you.
Keep your voices down, Filch will hear us.
It's not making all the noise.
Please!
Hermione knows
There's
what
another
spells
view of the dragon skeleton that's hanging up. Okay, so the next stop in the queue is the Gryffindor common room. They got the portrait of the fat lady here. And she does a little ditty. I don't know how many different versions of it there are. I think she's complaining about how, like, there's not even, we don't even need to use a password.
The game of Quidditch was meant to be played.
Talking about some other stuff. Obviously a big Gryffindor fan. So she's paused now. It does look just like a regular painting. And then there she goes.
Don't worry, there's room for all at the match. If I weren't so busy, I'd ask some of you to carry my picture down to the stands. My house never stopped talking about Potter's Quidditch skills. I'd really rather see for myself.
Interrupting me, young man.
This is some stuff from the common room, the armchairs. There's some portraits up on the wall. And of course the fireplace over here to the right, which you can't see because it's too dark. This video is really not doing the queue much justice since the lighting is not so great. And there's stuff here on the wall, some paintings. The paintings in this section of the queue do like the safety announcements. Like you shouldn't ride if you have neck or back pain. Shouldn't have any items that could poke or scratch anybody.
An enchanted bench.
And then over here to the right is kind of a preview of the ride vehicle and what it's like to ride the ride. I'll zoom in on that a little bit. There it is. The vehicle is supposed to be like you're sitting on a bench that Ron, Harry, and Hermione bewitch so that you can fly around Hogwarts and check out the Quidditch match.
When they landed, I would have brought them back too.
They're zooming in. The lighting's a little bit better. You can kind of see how this is set up, like the common room. There's like a chessboard and some books, stuff like that in here. And over here to the right is the entrance to the dormitories, the stairway to the dormitories.
And I'll tell you what
This room is really cool.
Blasting through a cloud in one of these benches.
Information I will be imparting is very important, young man. I'll thank you not to interrupt.
Who do you think you're going to listen to? You two? Or somebody who's actually taken these benches on test flights and lived to tell the tale?
Now here we are, we're approaching the room of requirement, and for some reason they have this sorting hat up here, which is cool, but doesn't necessarily match like the location. We'll try to get a better look at him up here before we hop on the ride vehicle. Turns out I am going to ride the ride, because why not? Although I won't be able to film it, sadly. The hat does move and say some dialogue, so it's kind of worth hanging out in the corner if you're interested in what he has to say. And then here's the boarding area. All right, well, I'm happy to report that I kept my eyes open the whole ride. Still don't enjoy the spiders. They're clearly fake, but I don't enjoy it. It does make my skin crawl a little bit still. I don't remember the Whomping Willow or the Dementors getting that close to the riders on the ride. So that was kind of cool. I mean, it's pretty intimate, the ride, and the theming is cool. It's definitely kind of showing its age at this point. I mean, it was made in 2010, and I think Escape from Gringotts is actually a much better ride. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Forbidden Journey today. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you next time.